All right, dear. Looking at some of this stuff really fast. Like I've explained in some of the other remote videos, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna program out like 2 days in a week for you. I don't want you doing much more than that right now. Just with you throwing it, and if you actually have a lesson with me or whatever, then this plan changes a little bit. But I think you're practicing enough and training enough that we don't need to be pushing it much more. So that day one, which ideally I would like to be done like today on a Wednesday, and that includes this. So it's a full arm care routine today, with it's a you go through the dynamic, you go through bands, you go into arm care, and then you're gonna do full body mobility and treatment. So we'll talk about that. Day two is more of like a recovery focus, meaning you'll go through the pre and post stuff like always, but that's your mechanical work day. So that's the day that you'll take some video and send it to me. So we'll talk about that stuff here in just a second. So if you're seeing my arm kind of bounce around weird right now, it's because I have stem on my elbow and ice on my shoulder. So okay, I'm going to prescribe basically the same arm care routine for everyone. The weight and reps might change. Probably more like in the weight. We'll keep that a little bit different for everyone depending on who you are and where you are in your progression stuff. But that's just so I don't screw up and send you something like 2 weeks in a row or something like that. Okay, like I said, the everyday routine, dynamic bands, arm care if you have it, which will only be on Wednesdays, and full body mobility. So day one today, what I want you doing, after you go through that full routine, if you had practice today, I don't really know what your schedule is. I'm pretty sure it's spring break for everyone. But I want you to do 90-degree ER/IR alternating, and I want you to do these body weight, okay? So what you're doing basically is you're going to be up at that 90-degree position, and you're just going in, okay, with no weight, but just kind of in slow, out slow, 30 total there. Then you're going to do band scap holds. So the pulls that we do in the band warm up, you're just going to hold at that back position for 15 seconds, and then you'll do 2 position decelerator holds. Thumbs back, 15 seconds. Thumbs up, slightly forward, 15 seconds. No rest in between each position back there. So 30 seconds straight through. And then you have 3 sets of all this stuff. So you'll kind of just treat it like a circuit. You'll go, shoulder, scap, decelerator, go back through, do that 3 times full all the way through. And then once you get done there, full body mobility. So the stretching that you do with me and the rollout that you do with me, but I also want you to go back and do the lower body part of the dynamic, but treat it more like a stretch, kind of just like a recovery type of deal, So, and then I also want you to do treatment of your choice. This is kind of, like I'm doing stem and ice right now. If you have no idea, I suggest icing. I say elbow and shoulder. I explain the kind of scheme there if you want to do that. But if you have no idea, make sure that you reach out to me and let's figure it out. There's a lot of different ways we can go there. Okay, day 2. This is a day that you're going to video stuff and send it to me. You're going to be doing everything on this day like 60% plus or minus. So you can go. I want you to stay right around there. We're not going too hard at all. Just be smart. Don't set yourself back. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to do. I have you and Brady doing kind of the same drill to start out, but hers is more for like intent purposes, and yours is too. But yours is more to get you in a line. To get you in that straight line, because we got your foot completely turned the wrong way right now, and it's closing your hips off completely. So what you're gonna do, I know you remember that day that I set the tape measure down and we were just having you go out as far as you could, and we built into that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start out, you'll do 8 to 10 increasing. So once you get out to like that full max distance, I want you to do 2 or 3. Once you're good there, I want you to start to bring it back in, do like 3, and bring it back to where your normal stride is. But I write a huge emphasis on the straight line, and you can't close off your foot nearly as bad. And in these we're doing no throws, so you're just literally, you can just keep your chest facing forward. You're going to go back, forward, and really focus on that back foot kicking forward, and not kind of like just swinging around. We got to push you out there, okay? So if you have questions there, or you want to take some video, that's fine. But really what I want to see is in this next set, I'm going to have you do 15 to 20 full delivery towels. So once you bring it back in from that max distance, now you go into your actual throws. I want you to keep the same type of intent with pushing and driving your hips through. So I write focus on driving hips through, arm back, and moving explosively in a straight line. If you do those things and your arm is pretty much exactly the same, your arm's going to distract enough, and we'll get that separation that we want and be more explosive there. So once you get towards the end of your 15 to 20, I want you to video from the back side, and I also want you to video straight in front of you so I can see the line with your feet. Pick a rep that you like from each of those, and then send those to me. So I took some notes last time, just when you were in there, just to kind of help you understand, the beginning stage of your load, when you're kind of rocking back, you got to have full range of motion with your arms. We can't be cutting you off with your elbow. You can't be swinging back here. It stops. It stops a lot of your momentum. So when those arms go back, you got to wait for that momentum to kind of swing forward. And then once we get there, we're going directional with your glove. I don't want you getting out like this. I want you to stay directional with your glove. Because if you stay in with your glove, it's going to drive your back shoulder back. And then we're going to have more separation between your hips and your shoulders. And that's just going to make you throw harder. So, but the biggest thing with you is that backside clearance. We can't, remember, don't stutter step and kind of turn your foot and then just let it leak off. Like, try to stay you can turn it a little bit, but it can't be pulling. You can't be pulling with your heel, because then, it's going to be too hard to push those hips through. So basically, I want you to be heel over toe as quick as you can, bounding forward. Don't have, a hump in your foot getting to the ground. Be quick and push out there. So I think you pretty much understand that. But yeah, video that for me. Just a couple reps will work. Full body mobility, upper body rollout, and then treatment again. So let's talk about that if you don't know, and let's figure out a routine that we can get you on. I just want you doing that a couple times a week, okay? If you have questions, I'll be back at my hotel for the rest of the day, and I can get back to you. So let me know. All right.